Hey, what's up? Aaron here. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching this video right now, you might be checking out this website called Fancy Hands, and you're wondering, can you really make money from becoming a virtual assistant? Is this website legit? How can you make money? How much money can you really make? And then let's check this out and see whether it's a good use of your time, all right? Now, at any time you want to get my favorite way to get to $5,000 to $10,000 a month, 100% from home, click the link below and I'll share with you my favorite strategy. Now, on this channel, I've reviewed hundreds of different ways to make money online. Some of them are really good, some of them so-so, some of them a big waste of time. So let's check out Fancy Hands to find out whether you can really make money with this particular website, okay? Now, Fancy Hands is basically a virtual assistant hub, right? So what they do is, if you come to fancyhands.com, they will basically find, everyday people like you and me, and they will offer them a subscription service in order to hire virtual assistants. So if you come right here, okay, basically, as a user, right, you can come here and you can pay anywhere from $17 a month to $150 a month to get your own virtual assistant, and they will do different requests for you, right? Between 3 requests and 30 requests a day, all right? But maybe you want to potentially make money from the website, so you can apply to become one of these virtual assistants. So you would just come up here to jobs, right? And the way it works is you would click on apply for a virtual assistant position. And essentially a virtual assistant is somebody that will do different tasks, all sorts of different tasks, for people all over the world, basically, online, okay? So there are different things that you can do. You can work from home and all you need is an internet and your computer, right? And you can do things like you can make phone calls on the behalf of somebody else for your client. And making phone calls would be doing things like making a hotel reservation, inquiring about something from a specific business, maybe booking a restaurant, booking movie tickets, things like that. You can schedule different appointments for people, scheduling a doctor's appointment, scheduling a dentist appointment for your clients, things like that. You can research and track down the best price for something specific. You can do research on hotels, basically do a ton of research for specific things. So let's just say your client wants to go to Bali and they're interested in checking out 3 different areas. They would give you some details and you would go out there, do all the research, come back with a whole criteria of stuff to do, price points, all that stuff. That might be a task, for example, right? Data entry and making more phone calls, okay? So that's essentially what you would be doing as a virtual assistant. Anything that you can basically do for someone else from home, and then they'll basically pay you for it, all right? So how much will they pay you? I'll tell you that in a minute, right? But all they really need from you is somebody that has, strong communication skills, someone who is, perceptive, can understand things quickly, has decent spoken English, because you're going to have to communicate with different people to get information for your particular clients, right? And that's pretty much it. And as long as you want to have your own schedule, work your own times, and you have a good internet connection and a computer, then you can potentially become someone's virtual assistant, right? Now, how do they pay? Okay, so the thing that you have to understand about Fancy Hands is that Fancy Hands is kind of like a virtual assistant hub. They get the clients for you, which I think is really the benefit of this, right? So if you don't have a client base, if you've never been a virtual assistant before, it might be quite hard for you to find people that want to work with you. But because Fancy Hands has their own connections, they've got their own network, they've got a whole host of people that want to work with virtual assistants, right? So you don't have to worry about that part. All you have to do is apply with them, work with them, and they'll link you with the right jobs, and you do the jobs, and they pay per task, okay? So they pay tasks anywhere from $3 to $7 per task, as you can see right here, all right? So it really depends on how quickly a task takes and how many tasks you get, because if a task is can be very long, like if you have to research a bunch of stuff for Bali, for example, or maybe someone wants to go away to Italy and you have to plan a whole schedule for them, getting paid $7 is not that much money for that much work, right? So it really depends. If it's just a phone call to book an appointment and they pay you $3 or $4, that might be worth your time, because that phone call could only take you like 5 minutes, for example, right? But it really depends, because sometimes you might have to wait, right? Maybe you have to cancel someone's Netflix account or something like that, and maybe Netflix will put you on hold for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or maybe you have to call someone's bank for them, right? That might take you a while because you have to wait. So you might be on the phone for half an hour and they might only pay you $4 for that. So it really depends on the task and how much time you're spending on it, but on average you're making between $3 and $7 per task, okay? So it's not a huge amount of money, right? There are other ways to become a virtual assistant where you can charge someone per hour. There are websites, and I'll share this with you in a second, There are websites where you can become a virtual assistant for somebody else, and you can earn between $10 per hour, $20 per hour. Some people even pay $30 per hour for experienced virtual assistants. It just really depends on you, okay? But it is possible in this instance right here to do 4 tasks in an hour, 5 tasks in an hour. And if you're making, let's just say $5 for 4 or 5 tasks, you're making about, $20, $25 within that hour, which is pretty cool, okay? So it just really depends on, I guess, the task at that particular time and a little bit of luck as well. But the nice thing is that if you do a good job with them, then you can get access to quite a lot of tasks that you can work on, which means you get paid a little bit more. All right. So if you want to check out Fancy Hands, you can come over to fancyhands.com, which is pretty cool, right? The only thing I want to mention about this particular website is that if you want to work with them, you have to be based in the US. Okay. So I'm going to click on apply right here, and you can send your email details over there, but you have to be based in the US, unfortunately. So if you're not based in the US, you're not going to be able to work with Fancy Hands, all right? Now, if you're watching this and you're not based in the US, you can go to a website called Fiverr, okay? And you can look for some virtual assistant jobs right here. There's another great website called Upwork, okay? These are all freelance websites where you can create an account, you can set up your job, you can look for a different type of virtual assistant job, right? And so you can apply for some VA jobs right here, set your hourly rate or set your per task rate if you want. And then the only trouble with that is that you're going to have to seek out clientele, which can be quite tricky sometimes, right? So these guys already have clientele, which will help you a lot. Now, the nice thing that I like about Fancy Hands is that they help you with the clientele, all right? And you can be based, well, you have to be based in the US, but you can basically work 24 hours a day or anytime you want, right? So anytime you have a bit of time, you can let them know and they can basically add the tasks to you. And as long as you complete the task in a timely fashion, you're going to get paid directly by Fancy Hands, which I think is pretty cool, all right? So if you want to check them out again, fancyhands.com. Now, here's the thing that you have to remember about being a VA. Now, the cool thing is that you're not working in somebody's office. You don't have to commute anywhere. It's 100% online, which I like, all right? The problem is it's not that much money. Like it depends on how many tasks you get paid. If you get paid $5 on average and you only get, a few tasks a day, how much are you making? You're only making, let's say $10 or $15, right? $15 times 30 days. I mean, that's only $450 a month. If you're lucky and you up those tasks to maybe 4 tasks a day, maybe you double that and you make about $1,000 a month. But $1,000 a month, even though it's decent because you're making a little bit of extra money virtually, which is cool, right? But $1,000 a month is not going to change your life. It might pay some bills, it might get you fed, but it's not going to create freedom. There's no leverage. You can't travel the world. You can't retire. You can't do any of those things because really, on the grand scheme of things, $1,000 isn't that much, right? Now, it's better than working, say, a full-time job where you're linked to an employer, you have to commute to the office there and back and things like that. But is there a way for you to work virtually but increase that income? So instead of making, $5, $10, $15 an hour, you're making hundreds of dollars an hour. Is that possible, right? Well, on this channel, I've reviewed hundreds and hundreds of business models. Some of them really good, some of them so-so, some of them a waste of time. And out of all of these business models, I found that there's one that's really good for beginners that will show you how to go from zero to your first $5,000 to $10,000 a month. So that's a very, very powerful type of income stream if that's something that you'd be interested in, all right? If you want to check that out for free, I've got a free masterclass that shows you exactly how you can do that, go from zero to your first $5,000 to $10,000. Just click the link below and I'll share that strategy with you if you want to check it out, all right? I hope you enjoyed this review of Fancy Hands. All the best to you, good luck, and I will see you on another video review. Take care.